actions, Ritu Huda.
Would you raise your hands if you have ever met someone in your life that has left a great impact on you? How incredible is that we learn the best lessons of our life from some of these incredible people. Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and our distinguished guest. Today, I'll be talking about some of those important people in my life who left a great impact and made a difference. We came to Brookings in June 2002, and I fell in love with the place. It was like a heaven until December came. That's when I got introduced to some interesting terms. Freezing rains, snowstorms, blizzards, and so on. It was one of those mornings, and we were getting ready to go to work. We were on Highway 14, driving at the speed of 35. And that's when I felt our car was going towards right and towards the right. I asked my husband, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm not doing anything. It's just happening." And within no time, our car was in the ditch. It was a very scary situation. It was 2003, and cell phones were not popular at that time. And we did not have one. We did not have AAA membership either. What we had was our 3-month-old daughter in the back of a car seat. I was very nervous. My heart was beating, and I didn't know what to do. That's when I started thinking about God. Looked up, and there was an angel standing and shouting at us, "Hey, I'm there to help you. What can I help you with?" That lady not only came down, picked my daughter, dropped her off to the daycare, and also dropped both of us. Jody was her name. She did not know what my background was. When she was ready to help me, she did not know what my religion was. But she came, stepped forward, and helped us. I will never forget her. She was an angel, and she will always be an angel for me. I learned a great lesson that day, guys. Help people in need. They will appreciate it all their life. Time passed, I graduated and got a job. I was offered a job at First Bank and Trust, and I gladly accepted that. That's when I got introduced to a very important person, who was the second important person in my life. As part of First Bank and Trust, they give you some trainings so you can get up to the speed. And I was going to the main bank for a training, and that's when I got introduced to Mr. Fishback, who was the chairman of the board. He was standing right in the corner, talking to someone. And the moment I passed by him, he said, "Hey, Ritu, how are you?" I was shocked. What? Where normal people cannot even call my name? He took the time to remember my name. I felt so impressed that when people or chairman of the board value its employees and knows them by their name, that was such a wonderful feeling for me. That's when I decided I will give 100%, maybe more than 100% to this company, where the chairman of the board values its employees. I also learned a very simple but effective lesson that day. People love to be called by their names. And that's when I started to remember people's name. It's very interesting, but now I hear from people all the time, "How do you remember my name?" And I thanks to Mr. Fishback. I got a job, and then after some years, we decided to buy a home. We started looking for a home, and finally closed on one home. It was a beautiful home. But the owner stopped mowing the lawn right after the closing. It was a month when we were ready to go there, and I saw the grass was that long. It was not an interesting experience. I was also 7 months pregnant at that time with my second daughter. I went into the house, looked from the window, and that's when I saw a gentleman mowing our lawn. I enjoyed with joy, felt so happy, and just went to meet him. And I introduced myself. I'm Ritu, and thank you for mowing my lawn. How much I had to pay you? And the gentleman said, no, you don't have to pay me anything. You are in our neighborhood and you're new, and we want to welcome you in this nice neighborhood. And you will not enjoy this long grass and bugs all around you. I was so impressed with the kindness of the gentleman. Time passed, our bond started getting stronger, and I started calling him Grandpa. I did not have any relationship, but I felt he was more than a family to me. After 2 years, a sad incident happened. Grandpa fell on ice and broke his hip. And eventually he had to move to an old age home. Every day when I was coming from work, I was thinking to meet Grandpa. And one day I decided I had to go and meet him. I went and the lady showed me the way to the dining room. And I reached there. Grandpa was ready for his lunch. I saw Grandpa's hands were shaking while he was trying to eat. And that's when I offered him, Grandpa, can I feed you? He smiled and gladly offered the help. A good thing he said, Ritu, we can be a great team together. I said, yes, of course. I had this half-an-hour conversation with Grandpa, and I realized we talked about everything in that half-an-hour conversation. That's when I learned another important lesson of my life. Be kind. It's a gift. And it completes the circle of life when we are kind to someone and comes back to us. I learned one more important lesson that day. Grandpa's daughter-in-law told me that according to him, that was one of the best visits he ever had with someone. Thinking about that, I decided to visit him one more time. And that time never came. What came was a memorial card that Grandpa is gone. And that's when I learned my last lesson. We should never wait for the perfect time to do the right things. No time is perfect. Once we decide we need to do it, we just need to do it. Dear fellow Toastmasters, life is beautiful, and we as humans remember the act of kindness when someone helps us and when we make others feel important. So let's all promise each other to create an impact in someone's life by being kind, being humble, and make others feel important.